Hey BookTube, so let's see if I'm like Jane Austen. Today I'm doing the Are You Like Jane Austen book tag, and I was tagged to do this video by its original creator, the amazing Shelley Swearingen. And this is my favorite type of tag to do because it taught me some things that I didn't know, and it also asks some really interesting questions that are not necessarily all about books. So let's get into this. Prompt number 1 is Jane Austen was an artist and writer. Give yourself a point if you're an artist. Give yourself an extra point if you're a writer. I'm definitely not an artist, and this is abundantly clear when I go to paint night events with my friend who is an artist. But I may have dabbled in writing. You know, this envelope may or may not contain a manuscript that I worked on a few years ago. And my artist friend may have created a little book cover for it. And of course, the subject matter shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who watches my videos or knows me. You write what you know. So that's something that I've had fun with, but I guess I'll give myself a point for that. Number 2, Austen was born to a large family. She had a total of 7 siblings, 1 sister and 6 brothers. Give yourself a point if you have 3 or more siblings. I only have 1 brother, so no points for this one. Number 3, Austen did not enjoy her formal education. Give yourself a point if you did not care for school. Well, I definitely don't get any points for this one because I love school so much, I decided to stay there forever, right? I became a history teacher and then a school librarian, and I was always the type of student who enjoyed lectures and taking notes, and I still geek out over school and office supplies, so no points here. Number 4, dark humor is woven throughout Austen's writing. Give yourself a point if you have a grim sense of humor. You must share a dark joke in order to get this point. I don't think I get any points here either because I feel like most of the time I try to keep it light, and definitely at school my sense of humor is probably corny and cheesy, not necessarily dark. I probably do have a little bit of a dark sense of humor around my friends, but if you say the joke with a smile, you know, does it really count as being dark humor? I don't know. Number 5, Jane broke off 2 engagements and died a spinster. Give yourself a point if you're single. I am happily married, so no points here. Number 6, Austen experienced low periods or spells of depression. Give yourself a point if you have struggled with mental health. So I can't say that I've ever struggled with depression, thankfully, but I will say that anxiety is something that I've definitely experienced, and I'm sure a lot of people have experienced those sorts of struggles more frequently in the last couple of years, given the circumstances of the world right now. So I guess I'll give myself a point for that. Number 7, Jane moved away from her childhood home in her 20s. Give yourself a point if you've lived away from your childhood hometown or region. Can't give myself a point for this one either. Number 8, Jane was not vain. Give yourself a point if you have very little interest in vanity. I think I do take pride in how I dress and look for school. I want to look professional, but I wouldn't say my interest in my appearance is excessive, and it's definitely not the most important thing to me. As I grow older, the one thing that's more important to me is comfort. So things like high-heeled shoes and uncomfortable clothing, you know, those are things that I just don't bother with anymore, and I think that's just something that comes with age for sure. So I will definitely give myself a point for this. I don't think I'm overly vain. Number 9, hair was of little concern to Austen. Give yourself a point if you cannot be bothered with your hair. Well, obviously I couldn't be bothered with it today, so I'll definitely give myself a point. My hair is a little bit strange because it doesn't dry completely straight. It doesn't dry into a nice curl or a nice consistent wave. There are parts of it that are straight. There are parts of it that have a little wave to it. And if I let it air dry with no product on it, it is frizzy, and so I definitely feel the hair struggle, and it's not something that I want to devote a lot of time to, so I definitely get a point for this one. Number 10, Austen expressed her distaste for hot weather. Give yourself a point if you dislike the heat. Well, I do a lot of outdoor activities and I do a lot of that in the heat, so it doesn't necessarily prevent me from doing what I want to do. I still go running when it is extremely hot, but I think I will give myself a point for this because I do not like to sleep in the heat and I do prefer fall weather. And I do like to keep my AC at a crisp 66 for sleeping. So I think that deserves a point. Question for you guys. I don't know. This is kind of a controversial topic, so I'm not sure if I want to open it up here on YouTube, but what do you set your thermostat at when you go to sleep? Just curious, because this can create lots of problems within households. I remember as a kid, my mom liked it really hot, so she would have the temperature set to like 74, 75, and I would have to creep down the hallway at night and turn the thermostat down, and then she would turn it back up when she got up in the middle of the night. So just curious about any AC battles that go on out there. So in the end, I ended up with 5 points, and the tag says, though you have less in common with Jane than some, you could probably spend an afternoon with her chatting about your similarities and differences. I had so much fun doing this tag, so thank you so much, Shelly, for creating it and for tagging me. I am going to tag 3 people. I don't think they've done this tag. I did look at their channels to double check, but may have already been tagged for it. The first person I want to tag is Sarah over at Bright and Bookish. The second person I want to tag is Jane at Lady Jane Books. And the third person I want to tag is Tiffany at Beautiful Minutia. I'm going to link all of their channels in the description box. They're all really phenomenal channels, so you should check them out as well. And I hope everyone is having a great day. Bye, guys.